If you defeat him, will you defend your belt against Aspinall, who has the interim title?
More than likely not. I feel like Tom Aspinall just hasn't proven anything. He hasn't done anything. He won his bout against Sergey. Sergey just got slaughtered by someone else.
Okay, so I feel like narratives have been created that just truly aren't there. You can't duck a man that you were never scheduled to fight. It's like saying you got turned down by a girl who you never even hit on.
I know he has to get that win, but do you think Tom Aspinall's the guy to beat Jon Jones?
For sure. John's scared of him. He's ducking him, man. He don't want to fight That's why he's like, oh, I'll vacate the title. I'll fight the number 10 guy. Fucking scared. Why do people think Jon Jones is the GOAT? He literally destroyed his legacy by ducking Tom Aspinall. The guy's a coward, and he's a woman beater. He beat his Jon Jones.
Jon Jones slammed Tom Aspinall for claiming that he is avoiding a fight with him, firmly rejecting the accusation. On the other hand, Tom Aspinall said that Jon Jones might be avoiding a matchup with him. He pointed out that Jones has a track record of steering clear of high-risk opponents, mentioning the long delay in a potential clash with Francis Ngannou, and now over a year without accepting a bout against Tom himself. According to Tom, Jon is a master of controlling narratives and public image, but deep down, Tom suspects there's a reluctance to take on serious threats this late. Although Tom expressed some understanding for Jon's caution, saying he respects that approach, he still gave a direct answer when pressed. Yes, he believes Jon Jones is avoiding him. Jon Jones addressed claims that he's avoiding a fight with Tom Aspinall. He said people are creating stories that don't match reality. According to Jon, he's never been in talks with the UFC about fighting Tom, so it's not fair to say he's ducking him. He compared it to being rejected by someone you never asked out. It just doesn't make sense. Jon explained that Tom has never been on his radar, and their names were never discussed together in meetings with UFC executives Dana White and Hunter Campbell.
Okay, so I feel like narratives have been created that just truly aren't there. You can't duck a man that you were never scheduled to fight. It's like saying you got turned down by a girl who you never even hit on. You know what I'm saying? It's like me and Dana and Hunter have never sat down and talked about Tom Aspinall. He's never been on my radar. Never. I mean, just a moment ago, it was him and Sergey that was fighting. And Sergey could be in this position right now, and I would still be in the same place.
Moreover, Jon also talked about how fans always look for the next big opponent after he wins a fight. He mentioned past fights where he beat top fighters, but people quickly moved on and demanded more. While he respects Tom and admits he's a strong, younger, and bigger fighter, Jon said beating him wouldn't change much for his legacy. He compared Tom to Cyril Gane, saying that even though Gane was very popular, beating him didn't add much to Jon's own career. That's why he doesn't feel the need to chase a fight with Tom.
I've beat people my whole career, and once I beat them, like the show just goes on. Like the French fans were just all over my case, and I just beat their guy, and I find myself constantly in the same position of, oh wow, he just beat another guy. Like what's next? You know what I mean? Like when I beat Glover Teixeira, he was on a 20-fight winning streak. And you beat Glover, and then everything just moves on. So for me personally now, it's just like, I get that Tom is an exciting fighter. I get that finally, after 16 years, we found somebody who's 7 years younger than me and 30 pounds bigger than me. Like, we finally found someone who may give me a great challenge. And everyone wants to see it so bad. But for me, it's like, what's in it for me? He changes nothing if I beat him. Beating Tom is just like beating Cyril Gane. Has a whole country behind him. He's hot right now. What happens to me after I beat him? Nothing changes for me.
Finally, Jon made it clear that he's not afraid of Tom. He said if he didn't go through with his fight against Stipe Miocic, that would be avoiding someone, because they actually signed a contract to fight. But with Tom, no fight was ever agreed on, and there were never any talks. Jon feels fans are ignoring the facts and just want to see him face someone who might actually be a real challenge.
So I'm not ducking Tom Aspinall. If I failed to fight Stipe, I would be ducking Stipe because we contractually have been signed up to fight over a year ago. This is Stipe's position. The Tom narrative came out of nowhere. He won a belt, and now suddenly I'm ducking him. I've never had negotiations to even fight him, if this makes sense. So the fans are just ignoring it. They're ignoring all logic, and they just have finally found someone that they think can compete with me, and everyone wants to see it now.
Still, Tom made it clear his ambitions go beyond just a single opponent. His ultimate target is to unify the UFC heavyweight titles and earn the official title of Undisputed Champion. While he currently holds an interim version, he wants the definitive crown. Facing Jon Jones would be a major opportunity, especially as Jon appears to be declining, but Tom isn't fixated on that one contest. He feels this is the perfect moment in his own trajectory, as he believes his peak is still ahead and he has full confidence he'd come out on top if they met in the octagon. However, Tom Aspinall discussed a potential fight with Jon Jones, saying that Jon's long break from competition likely would not affect him due to his vast experience and history in title fights. However, Tom believes he offers a different challenge compared to any other heavyweight Jon has faced. He highlighted his record of having the highest finish rate and the quickest stoppages in the UFC, which he feels makes him the most dangerous opponent Jon could face. Tom is confident that if he lands cleanly, Jon will go down, and that belief gives him a strong advantage in the matchup.
Let's talk about how that fight would kind of go down. I know he's been pretty inactive. That plays into your hands, I guess. What do you think of or make of the fight and how it unfold?
I don't know if it plays into my hands because he's had so many fights. I think like ring rust is probably for people who've not had as many like title defenses as he's had. So I don't think he'll have that at all. I just think that I'm way different to any other heavyweight out there at the minute, and I think I'm nothing like anybody that he's ever faced before, so I think that's to my advantage. And if you look at statistics, I'm statistically the most dangerous person in the UFC. If you look at finish rate and finish time and all that kind of stuff, that is me. So I think, he's a human being. If I punch him, he will fall over. So that works to my advantage for sure.
Furthermore, Tom Aspinall made it clear that his frustration is not directed at Jon Jones personally, but at the situation surrounding the heavyweight title. He believes it is unfair for Jon to keep holding the belt without defending it, especially while other contenders are actively competing. Tom said he simply wants the chance to be recognized as the top contender and to prove he deserves the title. He is confident in his abilities and just wants the opportunity to show that he can rise to the top if give you. Jon Jones firmly denied avoiding a fight with Tom Aspinall. He said that if he were to back out of his scheduled bout with Stipe Miocic, that would be a valid example of ducking. Since they signed a contract over a year ago, Jones explained that the idea of fighting Aspinall only became a topic after Tom won a belt, and suddenly people began accusing him of avoiding the matchup. He pointed out that no talks or negotiations have ever taken place for a fight with Aspinall. In his view, fans are overlooking the reality of the situation and are simply excited to see someone they believe could finally be a real threat to his dominance, which is why the narrative has gained traction.
So I'm not ducking Tom Aspinall. If I failed to fight Stipe, I would be ducking Stipe because we contractually have been signed up to fight over a year ago. This is Stipe's position. The Tom narrative came out of nowhere. He won a belt and now suddenly I'm ducking him. I've never had negotiations to even fight him, if this makes sense. So the fans are just ignoring it. They're ignoring all logic, and they just have finally found someone that they think can compete with me, and everyone wants to see it now.
I see quite a few people in here calling me a duck. I'm a duck. Call me a duck. Call me a chicken. Call me a goat. Call me a dog. I'm not in high school anymore, guys. A grown man out here chasing his dreams. It's funny that we really live in a world where being called a duck should affect me. Guys, come on.
But Colby Covington made strong comments about Jon Jones, claiming that Jones is avoiding a fight with Tom Aspinall because he is afraid. Colby questioned Jon's status as the greatest of all time, saying that refusing to face Tom damages his legacy. He accused Jon of choosing easier fights and avoiding true challenges, calling him a coward and referencing Jon's past legal issues. According to Colby, if Jon really wanted to prove himself, he would accept a fight with Aspinall instead of holding on to the title without defending it.
I know he has to get that win, but do you think Tom Aspinall's the guy to beat Jon Jones?
For sure. Jon's scared of him. He's ducking him, man. He don't want to fight. That's why he's like, oh, I'll vacate the title. I'll fight the number 10 guy. Scared. Why do people think Jon Jones is a GOAT? He literally destroyed his legacy by ducking Tom Aspinall. The guy's a coward, and he's a woman beater. He beat his Jon Jones.
Dude, Jon Jones is an absolute disgrace to this earth. joke. I mean, yeah, you beat Stipe. Stipe, respect to Stipe first off, because he's a first responder and you know, he puts his life on the line for the people and for his community. So shout out to Stipe. He's, you know, the greatest heavyweight of all time, but he was past his time. He shouldn't even have been there, man. He knows he was old and he was just showing up for a paycheck. You know, that's not the Stipe of old, you know, that was in his prime anymore. So, you know, I don't think anything special that performance. I think Jon needs to stop ducking Tom Aspinall, just like he ducked Nagano. You know, he ducked Nagano for years. Now he's ducking Aspinall. So he doesn't want to fight the guys he knows he's getting his ass whooped against. So I don't think anything special to Jon Jones.
Francis gave his opinion on why Jon Jones might be avoiding a fight with Tom Aspinall. He said that while Aspinall needs the matchup to prove his place in the division, Jones doesn't stand to gain much besides a paycheck. Francis questioned whether fans would prefer to see Jones take on Aspinall or someone like Alex Pereira, suggesting that Tom would be the more difficult opponent because of his stronger grappling and wrestling skills. He acknowledged that Aspinall brings a real challenge, but also pointed out that for Jones, the reward might not be worth the risk.
He keeps saying he doesn't want Aspinall.
Aspinall need that fight. I don't need it. When you look at it, pretty much true. There's nothing that he's going to make winning that fight if it's not money. But for Aspinall, that will be everything.
Would you rather see him face Aspinall or would you rather see him face Pereira?
Aspinall will be a more challenging fight because Aspinall respond to a ground game better than Pereira. Aspinall will respond better in wrestling than Pereira. You can do whatever you want.
However, Kamaru Usman expressed his view that Tom Aspinall is currently the most threatening contender in the heavyweight division and poses the biggest test to Jon Jones's title reign. Despite that, he suggested that Jones should prioritize securing his financial future before taking on such a dangerous opponent. Usman acknowledged Aspinall's skills, but emphasized the importance of making smart career decisions, especially at this stage of Jon's career.
You hit the nail on the head. I do think Tom Aspinall is the most dangerous heavyweight right now. 100% the biggest threat to pry that belt away from Jon Jones. But Jon has got to get that bag.
Sean O'Malley shared his thoughts on Jon Jones's legacy, stating that Jones will always be remembered as one of the greatest, regardless of the outcome of future fights. However, O'Malley warned that if Jones decides to fight Tom Aspinall and loses, some might argue that he was past his prime. He highlighted the risk Jones faces in potentially damaging his legacy by taking on such a tough challenge without securing a win.
Tom Aspinall? God damn. It's like everyone, it's like you risk going down as the, no matter what, you don't have to fight again. Greatest of all time, people will say that. You're the greatest of all time, greatest of all time, Jon Jones. Or you risk it, go fight Tom Aspinall, possibly lose, and then it's like, he was the greatest. Then they're saying, yeah, but he wasn't in his prime.
Frank Mir believes that Tom Aspinall could be a major threat to Jon Jones, but he still thinks Jones would come out on top due to his superior wrestling skills. Mir pointed out that Jones could take Aspinall down, control him on the ground, and neutralize his jiu-jitsu with ground and pound. He also noted that even if Jones beats Aspinall, it wouldn't have a huge impact on his legacy, since most people already consider him one of the greatest fighters of all time.
I think Tom might have the best chance of anybody to beat Jon right now. But that being said, I still think Jon wins the fight just because of his wrestling. I think he puts, Tom on his back and is able to nullify his jiu-jitsu from being top position with his elbows and control. What does Jon win to take that fight? He goes out there and beats Tom. Is it really going to make or break his career? I don't think anybody.
Israel Adesanya mentioned that Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall are similar in size, with Aspinall being slightly taller, but he also pointed out that Aspinall is thicker than expected. While Adesanya acknowledged Aspinall's speed as a potential challenge, he emphasized that Jon's grappling abilities are on another level, even though Aspinall is a black belt. He concluded that if the two never face off, there will always be uncertainty about who would win.
But he's the same height as me, if not an inch taller, but thick. Yeah. And I was like, you're a lot thicker than I would expect. Yeah. And the speed, that's the thing that I'm like, okay, that's the danger. But again, grappling, he's a black belt, but Jon is, it's different. Yeah. But I don't know, man. They gotta fight. But if they don't ever fight, we'll never know.
Jon Jones's former rival, Stipe Miocic, offered some advice to Tom Aspinall, urging him not to let Jon dictate the pace of their potential fight. Miocic explained that this advice applies to all opponents, not just Jones, as allowing the other fighter to control the action is a surefire way to lose. He highlighted this as one of the biggest mistakes a fighter can make in the octagon.
Yeah, no, I 100%. I think also too is that you just don't let him dictate what he wants. There's any fighter, not just Jon Jones, any fight, don't let him dictate what they want to do, because you let them do what they want, that's the end of the road for you. You're fucked.
Miocic also praised Jon Jones as one of the greatest fighters ever, noting his strategic approach and unpredictable style. He warned Aspinall not to make the same mistakes he did when facing Jones, such as taking heavy shots like the liver punch. Despite this, Miocic commended Aspinall's toughness, strength, agility, and his ability to stay calm under pressure. He believes that if Aspinall stays focused and composed, he stands a solid chance of performing well against Jones.
You know, he's getting better every fight. With Jones, you know, he's as good as one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time. He's just smart, real tricky.
What's the best advice you'd give Tom Aspinall?
Don't do what I did.
Avoid the liver shot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what are you gonna do? But I think Tommy, that guy, he's super tough, and he hits hard. He moves well. He's a big man. I think that he stays calm under the situation, and whatever happens, he just stays calm. I think he'll be fine. You know, he pitches shots. He's smart what he does, and I think he'll do fine.
Rampage Jackson, recognizing Jon Jones as the greatest fighter of all time, acknowledged his dominance in MMA. After watching Tom Aspinall's performance, Jackson saw him as a serious contender, but stressed how difficult it is to imagine anyone defeating Jones. He emphasized that only a real fight in the octagon could truly determine who is the best.
Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. No, Jon Jones is the GOAT in my book. You know, he's one of the best. And I recently saw Aspinall fight for the first time recently, and he's a great fighter, and he's a great champion. But I think it'll be tough for me to ever say that anybody will beat Jon Jones until it happens.
Joe Rogan raised concerns about whether Jon Jones could overpower someone like Tom Aspinall, a natural heavyweight with remarkable speed and movement. Rogan described Aspinall as an exceptional athlete, faster than any heavyweight he's seen, even surpassing the speed of Francis Ngannou. He warned that Aspinall's unique combination of size, speed, and skills could present a serious challenge, even for the highly accomplished Jon Jones.
Can he do that with a guy like Aspinall, who's a legit 255-pound natural who moves like he's 80 pounds lighter? He's a freak, man.
Yeah.
Aspinall's a freak. Like, I've seen a lot of heavyweight, even Francis, who's like the greatest, scariest power striker I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. No one's scarier than Francis. Francis does not move like Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is significantly faster than every other heavyweight. That's a real problem.
Dricus Du Plessis complimented Tom Aspinall for his dedication and strong work ethic, but he also pointed out that Jon Jones may be nearing the end of his illustrious career. Du Plessis hopes Jones retires on a high note, preserving his legacy. He also sees Aspinall as a fighter who could lead the next generation of top athletes. However, Du Plessis acknowledged that Jones still possesses the skills to defeat even the toughest challengers, maintaining his position as one of the all-time greats.
Aspinall is young, he's hungry. You have Jones, who is definitely at the end of his career, 38 years old. I don't need to see this because he's never been beaten. I want Jon Jones to retire unbeaten, and I want him to retire, and Aspinall goes on to be the next big thing. But Jon Jones being the warrior that is, he says, pay me enough and I'm doing it. Aspinall wants it, and one of them has to lose that fight. And that's the one thing, you look at it and you go, Aspinall's probably going to win. But then, if you ask me that, I say, no. We've said that so many times with Jon Jones, and it makes it look easy. He is the greatest of all time, for sure.
That's it for today's video. So what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about this fight? Share your thoughts in the comment section, and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Also, check out our other videos on the screen right now.